Okay, so before I start, I want you to look at this picture. And I know, these memes may seem funny. However, I think that deep inside, they damage our fighting spirit by making us think that our efforts are insignificant. When I started my journey to a more sustainable life, I wonder if it was all worth it, if I was like too small to create a difference. That was until my little friends came buzzing in to save me. So without further ado, I present you. There is no plan B without a B. Let's start with some facts. An average bee measures about 0.6 inches. In comparison, I'm 5'5". A human being can live beyond 80 years, while worker bees no more than 3 months. And in that little amount of time, they spend their lives saving our planet. And I know what you're thinking. Why comparing? Our role in nature is different, after all. And I wouldn't expect us to learn to fly and pollinate, but we can learn other things. Bees teach us not to underestimate size. They teach us that despite the great variability of color, shape, and region, we all have an important role in this life. My team and I work with my former high school, Colegio México Bachillerato. In the week of March 10 to 15, we ran a series of webinars, Q&As, documentary screenings, and activities for the students. So the school gave us the space to hold the conference, but due to a communication problem, we didn't know how many people to expect. Maybe a group of 50 kids, 90, 200. 200 high school sophomores. We were in shock. We didn't expect such a large response. And while my team was reorganizing certain aspects of activities, my concern was elsewhere. I don't know very well how high school works in other countries, but at least here, the second year is typically when some of your classmates know perfectly well what their majors in college will be, while others are lost and have no idea of what they want to do. When I was there, I was in that second group. And presenting to the science track students would have been easy, right? But it would be worth the effort if we could help someone find their way with our project. We started. We had two introductory webinars where we talk about bees, relevant bee statistics in Mexico, allergies, fears, and the role of bees in our day-to-day life. For example, we talk about how 75% of crops depend on pollination to prosper. We celebrated Mexico's cruelty-free honey production, which increased from previous years. And we took a minute to honor the almost 43,000 registered beekeepers in Mexico, as well the Melipona bee, our endemic species. And with this, I also invite all of you to set a reminder for May 20 and celebrate World Bee Day with all of us. The response for the kids was wonderful. They asked questions and even shared some personal experiences. In our third session, we had the presence of Lidia Alcantara and Natalia Bolaños, both amazing beekeepers. They conducted a Q&A sessions about bees and the essentials of beekeeping for the kids. The internet played us a bad trick on us and started to fail at the beginning, but we did not let ourselves be defeated and resorted to social networks, making a shared live stream on Instagram. The questions went more smoothly with the app features, and the session was a success. For the documentary, we decided to show the students Instagram. And for that, we did a previous test and concluded that it will be practically impossible to do a virtual screening with all the participants. Remember, 200. Thinking of alternatives, we came up with an option that honestly was my favorite part of all the week. Creating a drive-in movie in the school parking lot. We rented tarps and sound equipment and managed to project the documentary in a safe but friendly environment. The best part? It was priceless seeing the happy faces of many as they saw their friends in the distance after a really, really long time. On the last day, we did a virtual workshop where we created drinking fruits and bee houses, all made with recycled material. The best ones were installed in a safe green area of the school. The kids were asked then to send feedback and final thoughts, but we'll talk about it later. There are three words that define this whole journey for me: Hitemiki, Himontekeli, and Ichiwa, which is Nahuatl, the language of my ancestors, for dream it, wish it, and do it. It is also the name of a foundation for indigenous children that we contacted and that gave us the space to work with them. We adapt our sessions and workshops now for a group of 20 children approximately of 10 to 12 years old. And we got smiles, passion, eagerness to learn, and hearts ready for adventure in return. What is legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see. And now what? All this will be for nothing if there was no impact. I'm going to read you a message that came from a high school girl from the feedback that we asked. It says, "Hello, I wanted to tell you that this experience was one of the highlights of my year. I still don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but I am aware that my efforts should be focused on making the world a better place. Maybe not with the bees, as I'm allergic, but thank you very much. I will never forget this." Due to the success of the sessions, the high school opened the doors for us, and now we want to work with more groups. And I'm really, really proud to say that we will part of the graduation activities for the seniors, which means it's going to be very special. As for the foundation, we created an environmental club so that the children can continue learning, and we will have meetings every month to designate activities and goals. We plan to go further, gather more people, and reach more students all across the country. Bees have taught me that you are never too small to make a change. Start now, with fear, but start. Our PGC generation is example, and I couldn't be more grateful with Turning Green and all the finalists, and especially my dear mentor and ambassador, Sarah and Missy, for this experience and incredible people I met along the way. Finally, my greatest wish is that everyone who has the conviction to do something for the planet and still has doubts knows that inside, somewhere inside all of us, is the power to change the world. Thank you so very much.